Welcome to Outside with Clyde and a 5-day solo canoe trip in Algonquin Park, Ontario in mid-May of 2018. The start of the trip was delayed by 2 weeks, waiting for ice to clear the lakes, and I managed to launch the first day the park was opened and declared ice-free. I did a counter-clockwise loop, crossing Cedar Lake at the Brent access point, paddling up the Petawawa River into Catfish Lake, then up the Petawawa River to Burntroot Lake, down through Red Pine Bay, Lake Muir, Hogan Lake, small Phillips Lake, down the Madawaska River into Radiant Lake, then back up another section of the Petawawa River into Cedar Lake. My first night I camped on Catfish Lake. Then the second night was on Hogan Lake, which wasn't my favorite site. And which definitely was my favorite was Phillips Lake on the third night. And then my fourth and final night on Radiant Lake. This video is part 1 of a 4-part series and covers the first 2 days of my 5-day trip. It's May 12th, 2018. I'm at the Brent access point in Algonquin Park on the north side of the park, the very northern edge, going across Cedar Lake. Cedar Lake behind me. It's almost noon. It's 11:20 on Saturday, and this is the beginning of an 8-day, 7-night solo trip. Got my gear, canoe rigged up, GoPro attachments, fishing rods, everything's ready, everything in one pack. Plan is not to fish today until I get to my camping spot. I do have a dry suit. I chose not to wear it today. It's pretty calm out, and I only have a short paddle across this open water here. Wind is starting to pick up a little bit, but after I get across this, I'm either on a portage or on a river. And they just opened up the lake. You can see that's the eastern end of the lake, still ice covered. And I'm told around the corner here the western end is also ice covered. So fortunate that it's open, and I'm going to head shortly across to the portage. This is the Petawawa River flowing into Cedar Lake. I was coming up on the other side of the outflow, and I came back out into the lake to get across here. The water, a lot of eddies and strange currents in there. The water is quite rough, or flow is quite high, so I didn't want to, especially this early in the trip. My paddling skills are just getting retuned. That would have been kind of stupid. Try and cross that and catch an eddy and flip over. So we're good. I'm on the other side and nice and calm, and the portage is straight ahead. So that was 872 steps, and it says it's 695. So 872 over 695. Good morning. It's about 6 a.m. Had a good night. Cold. It was dry, clear night with some owls serenading us most of the night, back and forth. And you hear the loons were quite active as well. You hear them, hopefully. Tent worked out good. A little bit of a problem with the zipper. It's an old tent, and the zipper's broken down a little bit. So we're going to get up, trying to decide what I'm doing today. I was actually scheduled to be on Catfish Lake today, or tonight. That's where I am now. So day 2, I decided to start the morning trying my luck at some fishing, heading down Catfish Lake. You can see it was quite calm. I'm hidden from the wind, which was a south wind, and beautiful morning. I fished down through a narrow channel on Catfish Lake heading south, and I came out into the southern portion of the lake. It opens up and you'll see the headwind, a southerly wind starts to pick up, and eventually I'll pull over and put on my dry suit. There were a couple of males, I assume they're male loons, fighting for the right to breed and nest on this lake. You'll see them here chasing each other. They do this every spring when they come back to their lakes. Apparently they don't breed for life, but they do come back to the same lakes, and here they are again behind me. As beautiful as the weather conditions look, it was actually, it was beautiful, but the water is quite cold. The ice had just left the lakes. We're in the high 30s, low 40s. And as the wind picked up, I was a bit concerned of if I fell in. So you'll see I pull over to an island and put my dry suit on. And the rest of the paddle down the Catfish, I'll wear the dry suit. This trip I decided to bring 2 types of paddles. I have my traditional beaver tail paddle and my wife's kayak paddle, which is a bit longer than my kayak paddle. Worked great with the canoe, especially in the headwinds. It was awesome. I didn't have to do so much self-correcting with J-strokes. I'm going to check the guest map with GPS. I don't want to swirl around in here too much looking for the portage. A couple things, you'll see I've got my wetsuit or my dry suit on now. I was a little concerned coming across into the wind on that lake, so I pulled in and put the wetsuit on, or the dry suit, which is why I got it, for just that kind of thing. It's insurance. If I had dumped in, it'll keep me warm enough to self-rescue. After all that planning, I still managed to miss my portage, paddled down into Sunfish Lake, and added about an hour to my day. They'd figure it out soon enough and came back and found the correct portage. Paddling west, upstream on the Petawawa after Catfish Rapids. Video doesn't quite capture how much water flow is coming through here. There's a good strong paddle to get up the river here. That there is a Burntroot Lake Algonquin Park crocodile. Very rare. Yesterday was a lot of struggles in the wind, so I wanted to get out, and sure enough the wind is back. I wanted to get out early. It's been manageable, but I'm trolling nice and slow along. Got a southwest wind. And I'm trolling a small minnow rapala, 5 to 8 foot diver, with absolutely no luck. Stopped fishing the lake. The energy in the lake is starting to build. The waves are getting pretty good, so brought in the fishing line, switched to the kayak paddles, trying to get a normal pace now down to the portage. I'm thinking it'll get better as I get down to the southern part of the lake. As I got down south part of Burntroot Lake, the wind died down as I expected. A lot of damage on this point, and then this is the portage to Lake Muir. When I first came into Lake Muir, it was fairly calm, and then as I rounded the point and started paddling northeast, I had a direct wind to my back, and you can see I was riding the waves in up the entire length of the lake. Then came to this elaborate and quite new dock and walkway, which on the Jeff's map shows as a buggy portage. (2017) JVBWMKJS JSJP.